that his father had founded, and which he's still a part owner because he's voting for Obama. He's also the author of a great new book, Supreme Courtship. Sir, thank you for not smoking. Thank you for smoking. I mean, you've done it all. So does it feel unpleasant to be separated from the conservative herd these days?
Well, sure. This is by way, I suppose, of a family feud. I went out of my way. Look, let me say, I love National Review. I have the fondest feelings for National Review. It's the magazine my dad founded, and this is what's happened is profoundly saddening to me. I wrote a posting, I guess they're called, on Tina Brown's new website, The Daily Beast, giving what I thought were some, well, anyway, my arguments in favor of Barack Obama and against John McCain. What I went out of my way to do it in the Daily Beast and not in National Review, where I have been writing the back page column, because I didn't want to put NR in an embarrassing situation. Well, they were quite literally flooded with very angry stuff. Cancel my subscription, you know, I'm not going to give money. So I thought the decent thing to do would be to give NR the chance to distance itself from me. And so I tendered a sort of a pro forma resignation. I said, if this will help, here it is. And they accepted.
I think that's what Randolph Churchill did once. As Chancellor of the Exchequer, thinking the same result.
Be careful of who you offer a resignation to. They may just accept it. But it's saddening to me that the discourse has become so calcified, arteriosclerotic, to use a WFB word,
right,
that it comes to something like this. My dad, the late, and as you generously put it, very great WFB, was a guy who, as an editor, as a columnist, as a host of a TV show, would let you say anything you wanted as long as you presented an argument. I presented an argument, but there was a some sort of profound sense of betrayal. And let me say, right, for the record, the only reason my political opinions are of any interest to anyone is because of my last name, a name which I inherited. I'm a hack novelist.
No, you're not. You're a great novelist, and you've written some great movies now. And I want to say this, I'm going to quote to prove that you're not a hack. Here's some language from you in this posting. Quote, "This campaign has changed John McCain. It has made him inauthentic. A once first-class temperament has become irascible and snarly. His positions change and lack coherence. He makes unrealistic promises, such as balancing the federal budget by the end of my first term." Who really believes that? So you're pretty tough. Here's what you write about Barack Obama, which I find fascinating. Obama has in him, I think, despite his sometimes airy-fairy, we are the people we've been waiting for, silly rhetoric, the potential to be a good, perhaps even great president. Let's start with the positive. Your innermost feelings as a father, husband, American about why you prefer to see a President Obama to a President McCain.
Well, among other things, I've read his books, and this is a first-class temperament and a first-class mind. I said in that same posting, I guess I'm getting the hang of the lingo, that he's a lefty, and I am not a lefty. I'm a government conservative, although those days that water is well under the bridge. But I sense in him, first, I don't think he's going to be able to govern as a lefty, because if he does, then I think he's going to reap, as I put it, a whirlwind that'll make Katrina look like a summer balmy summer zephyr. But I sense in this guy a first-class mind who might just do very smart things, and so I'm putting it all on black, as I guess they would say in the casinos.
Well, let me ask you about what, I mean, you're not your dad, you're not an ideologue that way, a professional ideologue, you're a writer, you're a creative writer, but let me ask you this about what a conservative thinks today, because we just have this bailout now. These numbers are unimaginable. almost $1 trillion of federal money going in to back up these banks and financial institutions. Intervention like we've never seen. And then we just had Congressman Lundgren on saying big government is a Democrat solution. Well, what do we got on the front pages now? We have a bipartisan solution, which is big government.
Yeah, so much for the conservative revolution. I mean, we look at the last 8 years. Look, I voted for George W. Bush in 2000 on the grounds that he was a conservative, small c conservative. My dad always distinguished between large C and small c, and he thought W was a small c. He has in 8 years doubled the national debt, enacted an enormous entitlement, the Medicare drug benefit, has gotten us mired in an ill-premised and ill-waged war. I speak not of the brave men and women over there, but of the very arrogant men who got us into this mess. And government gets bigger and bigger, and he now leaves us with a de facto nationalization of our largest banks. I think the only good news in this is for the heirs of James Buchanan, frankly, who must be going, yes.
Well, I'm going to have to study up on James Buchanan, the immediate predecessor of Lincoln.
James Buchanan is generally considered to be the worst president we have ever had.
Well, let me say in his defense, he's the only Pennsylvanian to be president, sadly enough. Anyway, thank you, Chris.